Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to play a little bit more multiplayer of Battletech, I think. And I've been contemplating a lot over the past few days on what kind of tweaks I would want to make to this squad, this lance, assuming there's any I want to make at all, because the obvious one, of course, since this is kind of the most expensive variant of the locust, I could very easily switch them out for the LRM kind of long range harassment, or just go with the stock variant, or the basic variant is what I mean, with the machine guns. And there is real benefits to using the machine gun variant, because of course it gives me 80 extra armor for the 1 ton being removed to replace the SRMs for a machine gun, mind you. And if I were to ever melee with these locusts, it actually would strip off 2 points of evasion on my target there, which can pay off really nicely if I want to do maximize the damage potential I could do to a target instead of using a sensor lock, because the melee attack would reduce 1 evasion stack, and the machine guns themselves would also remove an additional stack because they can actually fire, being a support weapon, when you are doing a melee attack, interestingly enough. Although, I am going to have to playtest it a lot because I feel like there is some real benefit to having SRMs. It's just a lot of stagger fire. I'm not going to consistently or reliably hit the same component very often, but for all intents and purposes, it is still the same kind of firepower as like 2 medium lasers, or at least slightly higher than that. So there's still merit to having them there. I just got to get real used to how fragile they are and how to maximize their durability. So there's still a lot of playtesting, so that's a lot of the reason why I've been contemplating switching out for the machine gun variant. Even though the machine guns are probably almost never going to get some real practical use because of how suicidal that almost is to try and get in close for a melee, let alone just a close range shot. But even if I'm not happy with the Dragon, I feel like it serves an important role because it is an incredibly mobile heavy mech. It's even faster than the Centurion. That would be an easy replacement for this if I want to downgrade for something cheaper. Because the Centurion, the basic variant with the AC-10, is almost identical in its firepower and loadout. It just has, of course, the less mobility, less melee potential, I believe. I could be wrong on that. So there is some real benefit to having this thing, even though it is incredibly costly. Because the 9 points of melee damage can almost guarantee a destruction on any component that a light mech could have on them. Although, I'm going to have to double check on a fire starter and all that. Actually, let me check that right now. I'm genuinely curious about that. A fire starter I feel like might be one of the most problematic type of mechs, especially since it is, of course, the most expensive type of light mech. So, it actually would just barely completely destroy a side torso with the melee attack alone. It would actually survive an attack, which is a little bit different than, say, my Jenner here. Well, I'm wrong on that front too. The Jenner would just barely survive, but when you include the SRM2s and the stagger fire I talked about before with my locusts and even my own Jenner, that will easily be rectified as the battle drags out. And I doubt I'm going to get a melee attack anytime soon at the very beginning. So it just remains to be seen on how I can get aggressive and get mobile with said dragon once I can find the damn thing on this list here. Because actually I could compare his stats too, but I'll make this quick. Yeah, its mobility, its durability is actually lower there. That's something I didn't realize before. It is missing out on 120 armor there, and of course, as I said already, less speed, a notable difference. So I still feel like there is a place for this dragon, even though I'm arguably trying to go super top heavy. But that is going to take a lot of trial and error and a lot of practice, I feel like, just to get the nuances figured out. And if this is standing out in the open, then the autocannon with his 30 shots is going to be amazing, because it does have the longevity with 2 tons of ammo for both the LRMs and the autocannon.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, we are here. Welcome to the Split River, everyone. This is the map we're going to be fighting on today. And I feel like, for the life of me, that my opponent was an autopilot. I think I encountered him before. It sounds really weird because I don't think it's actually true, and what I mean by that, as I try and remember what my game plan was for this map, is I think this was the person who was constantly jumping into my match for my very first game there, but I think he kept disconnecting. I could be mistaken for the opponent I actually did play for my first Battletech match, so I don't think that's actually true there, and I think I dropped the time down to 45 seconds. Yeah, I just want to be sure. I may at some point consider dropping it down to 30 seconds once I get more comfortable with the timer. Especially for when things start getting really intense, mind you. But Of course, that's going to probably be more difficult for me than my opponent there, although it will help speed things along, so I am looking into possibly shortening it down to 30 seconds, which is as fast as you can make those turn timers. Can't make it any slower than that. You sure as hell can make it unlimited though if you so wish, but this is the map pretty much. The temperature is like 10 degrees, what is it, better for, or 10% better for my heat sinks. And of course, it's a lot of water, which means Paradise is going to have a good time as far as like actually keep himself cooled down a little bit better. And I did a handful of bot games already. There's this one hex that keeps me from walking on the difficult terrain, which is really useful in basically enemy contact. So we're going to have to see what we encounter here. But it allows him to avoid taking damage and being a heavy risk of being knocked down, if nothing else. So that's the one plus there. But either way, this is the map here. This center area is all high ground ramp, a slope. So this is where we're no man's land for all intents and purposes. Because once you poke on up, you are vulnerable to any long range fire that they may have available. And I also kind of want to keep Paradise back a little bit, just so maybe he gets a window to kind of like poke and harass. Because he has no use here until they start overextending over said ridge here, because he's more shorter range and he's pretty fragile, even with, well, in all honesty, all the light mechs are pretty fragile, aren't they? To an extent. Alright, so he just reserved there, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because, yeah, now I could just force him to act. So this works well for me there. Come on, move, make your move, buddy. Make your move. Two could play at this game.
I got you.
And sadly, I did have to move with Paradise, but now they're forced to move. And I can reveal them, and Ozone will be able to get some nice shots on them, assuming they're in sensor range. Which what I feel might happen is that Autopilot's going to move a mech that's outside of sensor range, ideally. Probably the heavy mech, or medium mech, or whatever their big carry is going to be, or their big... Well, the one who's going to... I don't know what the term would be technically. I'm assuming carry. The one... Whatever their medium mech would be. So, who do I want to move there? It doesn't really matter in all honesty. Let's just get our brace ready. Even though technically I am in a force, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I see you. I see you there. I could reveal this mech. It probably doesn't help me very much, but... Let's have a look. That looks like a spider if I had to guess. Yep, that is a spider. I could have revealed this mech because I feel like that might be a heavy mech or medium mech. I keep saying heavy, which is inaccurate, mind you. Okay. So sprinting on up, unfortunately it's going to have its 4, maybe 3 evasion stacks, and it's in woods too, so... I am going to have a decent chance to hit with missiles at least, if nothing else. So sensor lock. That's fine. There, we kind of saw that coming to an extent. And now we're going to get to see what weaponry unloading. I feel like there's a trebuchet coming along here in a moment. And also, the geothermal patch I just walked on there is kind of similar to the radiation from the crater map, in that over the next 2 turns I will generate additional heat, but this one is dependent on if I fire my weapons or use jump jets or something, as opposed to like a flat heat increase. So, now we're going to see what this mech actually is, or what mech they're using a sensor lock for. If there's no missiles, then that's a good indication that there's no trebuchet, I suppose. I imagine it should be an LRM-10 or LRM-5 or something to kind of soften up mechs. Time will tell though. I do conveniently have this sloped area though. Okay, second sensor lock. So I really do question that to an extent, because you had an opportunity to maybe kind of burn out the 2 stacks there, although Ozone's in a bad spot as far as missiles, which I'm okay with for now. The question is, how far away is he? That's what I really want to know. Because I could move, I could sprint with him. It's not out of the question just yet. So let's get on moving and get on ready. This may not be a good position. I probably shouldn't forfeit that spot so easily, but there is another high ground slope a little bit further on the right I could utilize some. When I do actually get there. Now it's still a question of what is the final mech, since you revealed 2 here, although this one sadly is not in the trees for the damage reduction. Its side is sort of technically, well, never mind. It depends where the missile mech or whatever mech's going to be shooting at me is coming from. If the fourth mech's over here and it's about to shoot, then at least that my side's protected, or my center torso is protected. I'm really on edge today. Eesh, nerves are getting to me for whatever weird reason. But now we know where all 4 mechs are. Okay, so how many missiles is this? It's a trebuchet. Okay, so this is fine by me.
Can't take many more hits like that.
I want to burn out those missiles to leave it really vulnerable and not very potent. And thankfully that only hit the side, and unfortunately means my torso is vulnerable, but...
Waiting for orders.
Now the big question, I think I just sprint. Actually, I could just reserve, because why not, in all honesty. In all honesty, why not? It seems like a stupid mistake, yeah, but I can force a move at the same time. Force an action, because we know there's 2 sensor locks, and I don't think they're actually able to do anything. This is really weird start to this combat, isn't it? But we know what the strategy is, and we know why this is happening. Oh yeah, and I forgot
Commander?
I forgot I went first there. Oh well. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all, because Witness is going to get to cover, get out of vision, and keep himself out of harm's way. Since he took the first missile salvo, pulling back is not a terrible idea. Because that means the trebuchet is forced to spread out his damage, which means it's going to run out of its ammo that much quicker, but I do need to be good about minimizing, making sure... I am kind of thinking, should I have my front facing towards the trebuchet or not? So that way it maximizes how spread out the missile damage is or not. Because there's always the risk of an ammo explosion when the armor is breached. Okay, so there's the spider, so I can easily sensor lock that. And I think my dragon's able to get a good shot on it. Just not a high ground slope, but then again, I'm not technically going to have a high ground vantage point anyway, even if I were over here.
They've got a lock on me.
So, again, it's the question. I can easily get my evasion stacks, that's not a problem at all. It's again a question of what my facing should be. Because that is not woods, unfortunately, which seems really weird considering. I want to be able to turn easily, because I'm probably going to evade with Showboat after this, but I do have a sensor lock ready for the spider. And if I'm so lucky, maybe I get an autocannon shot. If I'm so lucky, it does not look like it though. But at least we removed 2 sensors tabs there, and I'm going to have my LRM ammo available longer than that trebuchet without a doubt, since I only fired 10 at a time while still having 2 tons of ammo. So my drag is more focused towards the longevity as opposed to sheer damage potential, which means I have to play a slower game. I'm kind of forced to. Which also means, since that trebuchet has such an easy time hitting my mechs, because all they really rely on is a sensor lock, then that's going to be a little tricky to do. So again, this is where spraying out the damage is useful, because I'm pretty certain Witness cannot be spotted at all. I am still going to take a little bit of damage, but this time I do have the trees to my advantage. Now, I get 3 evasion stacks. I'm going to try and soften up. I don't think I could get an autocannon shot, although I wasn't looking if that was direct line of sight at the same time either, mind you. And ideally, Ozone is going to take the brunt of the damage. Oh my, I can get an autocannon shot. And with 30 shots, why the hell not in all seriousness? I may get lucky. Sadly, not this time. It was a 40% chance, but I'm doing some chipping damage as well. It's just nowhere near as impressive as what the trebuchet would do. So, now begs the question again. How is next turn going to play out? I should move with Shobo first. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to get the next turn because I'm going to be acting with Paradise next.
Yes, Commander.
Damak already jumped. That's fine. Paradise is just going to hang back. Ideally, keep out of sensor range, maybe. We'll take our time. Again, longevity is kind of key here. It may be my own undoing my own playstyle that's kind of encouraging these long matches, but I kind of suspected that LRMs and possibly the Firestar would be a very potent mech for these type of stock battles, because one mech can completely shut down my key units if it gets on top of them and they're already running hot, and the other one has such an easy time to actually shoot at me. So I felt one of those two weapons are going to be key to most players' strategies. It's still a question. Come on, are you going to fire the LRMs or not? Not quite a rear shot. So there goes 60 missiles out of what, 240? I can't quite remember the tonnage count.
Took a heavy hit there.
But you, luckily, did not lose your, yeah, you didn't lose any armor, so that's a good sign, but your leg took a lot of the damage, good god. How the hell did your leg, oh, that's why, because wrong arc, but still, how the hell did your leg get hit?
Commander?
And the spider is going to try and make a run attack play on me there. Still a question where I want to go, and I think it's pretty straightforward. It seems a little bit risky, but the sprinting potential is real. If I get outside his sensor range and force him to go across that ridge, get closer, get in better optimum range of the dragon, then that should work well for me. Again, it should have been a question if I should have reserved first or not. I am going to reserve next though. Force them to act unless they plan on reserving, which is fine by me. Which is fine by me. Paradise isn't going to be doing a lot just yet. And I think if I go first, then I'll get to go first on the next turn. So if I position Paradise properly, he could get a good jump on the spider or whatever is trying to spot. We will see. We will definitely see here. So, I'm just going to reserve for now, because this will force them to act whenever, let's see, I think that was a reserve. That looked like a reserve, so I'm going to do it anyway. It's a weird way this is playing out, isn't it? Because you know what the strategy is at this point, so why not just go in that case? I'm trying to understand the thought process a little bit. Oh, because they already moved the mech. That's fine.
How might I help?
That's fine. I can have Paradise go. I am just curious how far Paradise can jump, because Paradise could get a shot on this. Could get a shot, but of course, with potentially two mechs that haven't used their, well, I'm trying to think of the term, that haven't used their sense lock, potentially haven't used their sense lock. It is a question if I should dive in there or not, because that basically counters Paradise's evasion stack to have two of those still available. I know they moved a mech, I just don't know what mech. Because the spider has not moved yet, that's the only thing I know for certain. And of course, as soon as Witness does reveal the spider, then I'm not going to get a good shot on it, but because it's just going to encourage the spider to jump again. We'll see. We will see. Hard to say. Really difficult to say. I know at least one sensor lock is going to be spent unless the trebuchet decides to not do anything. Now, this is a big question. Do I get the trees and still get vision? It looks like it. Now, what torso is this? Left torso, so right side is what I want getting hit. To try and spread out the damage. And I get my sensor lock, but you know the spider is going to go jump next, so that doesn't do me much favors just yet. But the strategy is still the same. We burn out the trebuchet's missiles. And yeah, I could have seriously gone for a jump there, but I'm worried about Paradise getting sniped horribly by their entire team. Okay, that was weird. Oh, for some reason I thought he already went. So that didn't make a lot of sense to me at first. Because there was that pause where I had no control of units and then it swapped on over. Maybe latency. Because that spider's without doubt having to go next. And if it jumps back, it's not going to sensor lock, but if it stays in this area within vision, then at least Ozone can get a shot off on it. It may not be a good shot, but at least I can still get a shot on it. To still kind of return the favor some. Because that trebuchet is going to run out of ammo at some point. There's only 3 evasion stacks, so I can work with that. I just don't think I can get the autocan shot
Ready to rock.
as much as I would like. That's good enough, I suppose, for now. And then, hopefully, when they start taking their shots on Ozone, Ozone can take those hits really damn well. Especially if, yeah, it's only 25%, but again, I can afford it to an extent. The Trebuchet cannot. Not if it's going to fire with both missiles, mind you. Very pitiful damage, very slow. But my Dragon's kind of equipped for it, isn't it? Since it's not reliant on the LRMs, especially when I get in close, so I might as well use it as every opportunity I can. I just gotta be mindful of the locust not getting hit hard. Well, a lot of that damage was spread out there. I am in the woods still, so I am gonna soak a bit of that damage pretty well. Oh, so we do have someone on Initiative 5. Interesting. That's the first time I saw it, so I guess that's Arc-like then on the Spider, huh? That's fine by me.
Holding action, Commander.
Let's go to Initiative 1 then. I have no reason to wait this out. It's really weird nonetheless, but I'm fine with it. I am perfectly fine with it. It just drags on the match a lot longer than it probably needs to, with that said. It helps Ozone be able to be reactionary, if nothing else, because normally he's the very last one to go, so this benefits me to some extent, but only if I use it properly.
Awaiting orders.
And Paradise again is not going to get to do a whole lot, but where would they be going right now? With that said, I am curious about where those other mechs are, because there is this pathway here that I need to be mindful of flanking, at least for the Trebuchet here on my side. And if the Trebuchet is over there by itself, then that's kind of what Paradise wants to an extent. I just worry Paradise is not going to have the durability to deal with a Trebuchet, as shameful as this sounds, because it's 3 lasers versus my 4 and SRM, and I'm going to suffer from overheating issues if I don't use the terrain or the water very well. We'll see. I'm going to keep trying to soften this thing up, because I did basically get away with a free turn of shooting at the Spider, since the Trebuchet did not shoot.
Good to go.
So, I gotta keep in mind what leg is vulnerable. And I can reveal I should at every opportunity try and stay in the woods though. And that's 4 stacks there, so that's good enough. We'll see what the Spider does. I'll reveal it, and if it doesn't act the next, then Ozone's just going to take another shot at it. With its reduced evasion stacks. So, he is forced to jump that thing, without a doubt. Otherwise Ozone's going to have a good time. Although, it's still a question if I want to get super brute force, because I know there is a Trebuchet. I kind of could bully him a little bit. I'm just not comfortable with that strategy, because random RNG, so yeah, that's fine. It is still a question, because if I do jump up there, so we're no longer in contact, that's fine. I get my 4 evasion stacks. And if somehow Ozone actually sees the Spider, I can get a shot. Nope, not quite. But again, the strategy is as it sounds. Oh my, I can still move with everything. So this is an opportunity to get into a better position, I suppose. This is definitely a weird match, with that said. Oh, all my soldiers, all my mech warriors can go. Okay. So we just completely dropped out of combat, with that said. So, we'll just move with Paradise Brace and keep on going. This is definitely going to be one of those matches, isn't it? Alright. Either way, I got vision. I still am not comfortable with Ozone going up there aggressively, because flanking potential rear shots is a big deal. But he can at least handle the Trebuchet LRMs really damn well. I only know that there's a Spider and the Trebuchet so far though. So who knows what the other 2 mechs are. I would love to get more autocannon shots, but after missing that first attempt, I think I got him spooked. Anyway, so there goes the Spider. That's Arc-Light, without a doubt. I have 4 evasion stacks and brace, so... Okay.
Waiting for orders.
So that's fine by me there. I just gotta, again, keep in mind my facing left torso. And if I can sensor lock that, that would be an actual nice bonus. At the same time, it also, if I'm outside vision, they can't actually see me. That is something I learned from the campaign in my last stream, so if I can't sensor lock the spider, then I just am out of vision. And I know that thing moved, probably not the most effective use, because I could have got rid of both of his evasion stacks. So that may have been a mistake. I won't argue, because I still would have had the 4 evasion stacks. That probably was a huge mistake, I'm not gonna lie. I could have punished that thing heavily with 10 LRMs and having no evasion. But it would have been, well, it did sensor lock too. It's still going to be good chances to do damage, mind you, it just would not be as good as it could have been. So I may be playing a little bit too passive. I only know that 60 missiles were spent on the trebuchet, so if that thing uses up all its missiles before any real damage is done, then I already got a good upper hand to kind of start getting aggressive. The 3 lasers is still no joke, with that said. Oh. Okay, time just ran out there, so
Waiting for orders.
our friend is not quite sure what to do. And I don't quite see a spider, that's fine though. And that is left side, right? No, right leg, so I want to face towards it just in case of a sensor lock. We'll keep focusing on this spider some. And if I feel like I can safely start shooting at it, then that'd be a different story.
Got a lock.
So 2 evasion stacks. I could have gotten all 4 eliminated if I did that right, but I wonder what mech actually... Well, it's definitely not the spider because it already jumped, and it is Arclight. So Arclight is the one that has the initiative 5. So that's always going to have the convenience of jumping out after it does like a flanking or ambush type play. It's not as scary as, say, a Firestar, mind you, or anything that's like 35 tons, so that's the one plus I got going for me. So I'm just going to reserve here.
Holding. For an advantage.
Reserve for now, so that way Ozone can take a shot up there. And I still question about getting aggressive, but I do have a window for it now, since this thing is sort of unsupported. I say that loosely, because the trebuchet is always going to be able to shoot at me, assuming I'm in range. But I will get the fire missiles at it, and if Ozone does get closer and actually gets a good vantage point on this ridge, I have good line of sight with anything that's up here. But I'm assuming the trebuchet and everything is over on this side, because there is a roadway and everything, mind you, so I kind of need to start pushing in case of a potential, like, oh, you just reserved, I think? I think. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Oh, everything just moves, so that's fine by me. I just don't know what to make of this match in all seriousness. But I think Dragon's Ozone's gonna push on up. We gotta be ready. I would love to try. I'm in minimum range now, am I? No, it's just indirect fire, okay. I was worried at first. Not as impressive damage as it could be. I have the evasion stacks and I do have Paradise still.
What's the plan?
And Paradise can move on up, and this is giving me confirmation I am able to get out. At least with a light mech. It's a bit scary because these are braced after all. So this is not going to do as much damage as it could. But at least I start forcing the issue a little bit. So we got a commando. This is a large laser commando. So with my cooling, 2 laser hits, that's fine. My general will be able to jump back out and still get a second shot off. It is going to get hammered next turn if I'm not careful, so I wonder if I should just brace with it, since we are dealing with a brace of our own. But it depends what he does here. Because conveniently, Paradise was actually outside sensor range, so they had no way to know Paradise was here. Ooh, and conveniently, Arclight, because of Initiative 5, is working against it, autopilot here, because even if you reserve, that means Paradise is guaranteed to move next, if I so wish.
They got a sensor lock on me.
So we have a dragon, that's fine. All that
Yes,
takes some of
Commander.
these hits. I'm gonna fire everything this time. Try and keep doing more damage, and that's SRM ammo is always a nice. If I can somehow hit that, that would be really damn
Unloading a
nice.
full salvo.
3 hits. Damage I'm really happy with, I'm not gonna lie. but we got no internal damage with that said. And he is at least outside sensor range, I'm pretty certain, in the trees, so that helps. Just, Ozone's gonna take a little bit of flak now from the trebuchet. But that'll be 9 missiles there. I'm not quite braced. And I'm not standing on the rough terrain. Alright.
Good to go.
So that's the one risk there, to an extent. Not a big deal yet, but once I'm in the woods that might help some. Actually, there was 2 sensor locks. All I know is the spider went, so...
Moving to position.
This is the big question. Do I sensor lock the commando? Because nothing actually moved. I only know that the spider moved, which is why I'm tempted to do this. Since after all, there's no way for the evasion stacks to get refreshed in time for Ozone's attack. If the commando did not move, that would have and it's sensor locked instead, I just missed out on a huge opportunity, but I have no way to honestly know that as the big thing. Okay, so we have a panther over there.
You need me to hold still for you?
I could take those damage pretty well. That was on the sensor torso too, mind you, so...
Commander?
Let's see, I can also... Can I sensor lock that spider some more? I would like to sensor lock the commando now that I have confirmation it did not move. I think I want to sensor lock the commando. Because that was all 3 light mechs. Ozone's going to take a lot of damage, so I do need to try and take his brace seriously because of the sensor lock. So reveal that. It is brace, so I think what happened is it did... Yeah, sensor lock Mockingbird. I can't remember. Mockingbird is one of those characters that can brace if they don't move. I did a lot of damage to it, and unfortunately Paradise is going to be running a bit hot to kind of not be able to punish the commando, but I can brace myself. This is just going to be a painful turn here. It's going to be potentially painful because I don't need to move there. But I could brace. A lot of damage there. I'm gonna brace. I don't think I have much of a choice.
Serious shit here, Commander. Orders?
So that was 9 damage there. What does my health look like? It's all spread out. Alright, so I got distracted there for a moment, so I'm gonna brace without a doubt, because I'm gonna have to try for it. And sadly, I do not have the autocannon shot I would like, but can we breach some armor? No. But I am guarding entrenched. So that should help deal with the trebuchet a lot. That was 3 shots I believe, so only 9 missiles, but my center torso is relatively safe for now if it's going to try for a direct line of sight shot. We'll see what happens, because that's someone's going to have to try and melee this dragon to deny my brace, which isn't going to happen just yet.
Awaiting orders.
I would love to shoot that thing. And that is force, so I am tempted to do it. This would be a great way to cool down now. Let me just make sure I spread out the damage. I don't care about a weapon getting destroyed, I just don't want a center torso to get hit ideally. So keep massacring this commando. Again, I'm going to run really hot, but I can take the hits there. And this thing's taking a massive beating. Still no breached armor. That's unfortunate there. But it can't take much more at the same time. Because I am in woods, right? Yep, I'm in woods with full evasion, so if you want to maximize your chance to hit this, you're going to need to invest a couple sensor locks on it. And maybe that opens up an opportunity for Ozone to shoot the commando if it can get line of sight. Because that thing took a massive beating. Any kind of good follow-up shots from here on out is basically going to cripple something, if not destroy it outright. Hard to say though. Yep, forced to move, that's fine. I could sensor lock it if I'm so lucky.
They've got a sensor lock on me.
This is scary. This is really scary, but
Commander?
I can reveal it at least still. And if they try and sensor lock something else, that works for me too. So let's try and keep pummeling this commando. Because we know at least that one has a sensor lock that they're trying to utilize. So let's reveal it. That way Ozone can get some more missile shots. And thankfully I only need to use one sensor lock. So maybe Witness could take a shot at the spider. Where is Witness anyway? Where the hell did... Oh, Witness is in bad spots, so I did that wrong. Witness should have gone up and revealed the commando. Oh yeah, I never even moved yet, so never mind. That was all for nothing pretty much. That's fine. I still got my force here, I still got 2 evasion stacks, and you burnt 2 mechs for it, so...
Good to go.
Now, I'm curious about something here. Although, the Panther is probably going to move. But I'm curious if I can obscure the shot anyway. Sounds like a horrible idea, but... I don't need any more evasion stacks with that said, so why not just make my own evasion? I don't know if this works as I'm hoping. Now, what side is this? This is the left torso, so... I don't want that to get shot at, but... I have the evasion stacks.
Printing.
This is probably not worth it, though. I just know I don't need the sensor lock, though. So if this makes the Jenner a little bit harder to hit, then it's worth it. Sure, the Trebuchet is still going to get shots off, but... Ozone's free to do something, still. At least shoot at the commando, whose apparently rear is facing away from me, so that's mighty convenient. It's not as convenient as it sounds. Well, that's not entirely true. So far, anyway. I would love to get an autocannon shot on it, too. So, you reposition, so that's unfortunate. Unless the locust does get a block shot. So, how is... Oh, your Apex.
Taking hits like that.
That explains why the force didn't do anything. It ignores brace if you fire a single weapon. Okay. So that leg took serious damage there. I could still continue to hit the commando. If I can wreck it, that would help a ton. But the Trebuchet is now about to fire too, which is going to suck for Paradise's leg. Here comes the Trebuchet now. It's going to direct line of sight there. It's going to fire all its weaponry. So, it's still standing. I just can't sprint. So, you handled that really well there.
Confirmed.
Now, I do get an obscured shot. I would love a rear shot, but is it worth it with what I said already? The LRMs aren't going to really do a whole lot. %50 chance to hit. An amazing chance to hit the Trebuchet, but I'm splitting damage. It's really hard to say there, in all honesty. And I don't have split shot. I have 10 seconds to think about this. Because if I hit the rear, then there's a risk of the ammo explosion, which will be a big deal. Okay, critical hit on medium laser, that's always a plus.
Critical hit.
Now, Arclight's probably going to try and compound on this some a little bit. And Paradise is probably just going to evade, although it is mighty tempting to just shoot this thing and... Oh, I only got critical hit on the arm. I was hoping maybe breach the torso. And we got no actual hits on the rear, sadly. Alright. So Paradise, without us, going to cool off there. Just get out of line of sight of the Panther. And we'll keep trying to soften him up some. Because he is kind of wedged into a corner and this Trebuchet cannot escape. I just gotta make sure I can pounce it. Because Spider has jump jets, Commando does not.
Reporting.
So let me get out of sensor range, force him to come to me. Because I took a lot of hits there, and that's fine. It gives Paradise a chance to cool down, get his stability back up, and brace should be fine, because unless this Panther sees me from up here, I should be okay. It's hard to say because I may have gone too far back. because I was concerned about sensor range, but we'll see. We will see. Now, my locusts are at risk though, so that's a big concern there. But if I can get away with him trying to reserve, or no, if he acting with one of his mechs first, then I could just reserve, and for whatever one he plans on sensor locking or reserving with, then I don't know what I'm mumbling about. But there goes the commando now. So that's okay there. Trebuchet is going to get to move about. So I'm just going to reserve. Sounds silly, but if they reserve, then I can just immediately move my locusts or my mechs out of the way. If I'm concerned about them taking damage anyway. Because for this trebuchet to hit Showboat, it needs to get closer, which is kind of what I want with my dragon. It just may not be a pleasant experience with all things said. So, is there a way I can get out of line of sight? Because I see the damn thing. Because I know he's going to double sensor lock. So why not just try and take the shot? What's my torso? Left torso. So we'll turn like this. At least that way I'm protected from the trebuchet. Maybe not the Panther. So, but at least the trebuchet I'm safe from if it's tempted to shoot. Let's just, and this protects my center torso some. Now a critical hit. So 2 lasers are crippled for a close range. Although that may not mean much for point blank range, because I think it's only a +2 modifier. But we're doing good on the critical hits at least. And I'm okay with only 2 evasion stacks, because until I destroyed a commando, they were, well, who am I kidding? The commando already went. So that may have been a mistake, because I could have still got 2 evasion stacks. And I also need to be mindful of, what is it? Okay, trebuchet's cowering, that's fine. I can sensor lock it, I'm just not going to get an autocannon shot with that said. And I could still shoot aside its arm and cripple its lasers. Because once it does run out of missiles, that's going to be a huge deal. I just completely lost count of the number of missiles, mind you. So that's the only downside there. And I'm not going to try and jump it there, although I am vulnerable to a DFA from the spider, I think, if I go this way. Now that I'm realizing it. But I am out of sight of the Panther for now. So, sensor lock on the trebuchet. It is braced, that's fine, because I don't think it actually mitigates the chance of critical hits on the arm if I fire more LRMs. Now, what is your status? Oh, it was just a center torso and a lot of missiles spread out everywhere.
I've been sensor locked.
Alright. So, that was like the well, the trebuchet all removed, mind you, so... Okay. Right arm's destroyed.
Daylight through my armor.
It's still alive, though, that's the main thing.
Yep.
Now, the big question, do I dare try? I can't get in the woods. I was wondering if I should try and flank a bit more, and at least start getting a little more aggressive, but it seems pointless. Since I'm ooh, I actually get an autocannon shot, I take that back. Standing here is perfect, even though I am obscured, let's be fair. Not the best shot, because I hit armor. Oh, not a critical hit, I think? No. I did get some decent hits on his side, some more. Oh, timer's still going. Okay, I was concerned there for a moment. We are doing good damage on the trebuchet so far. It's been a weird turn of events. And Paradise is pretty crippled, but he did also eat like 30 missiles to kind of deplete slowly the trebuchet. Oh, that's a shame. I would have figured that you would have had an indicator. I'm pretty certain... Oh, it's because they didn't have vision of the dragon, that's why. Okay. Yeah, I know the feeling there a little bit. A little bit. Because I had that experience as well. So I'm completely wrong. He wouldn't have known if there was vision or not because I was actually in sensor range. And I do have access to Fury. Is it worth it? Probably not. And Paradise, I want you to keep on being useful, but we learned that the dang Panther is a pain, so is it possible we can just start getting you to go around, maybe flank the Trebuchet, while staying out of vision, or at least out of the line of sight of the Panther? That would probably be the idea, especially if this Trebuchet keeps backing up, because it is kind of wedged into a corner, I believe. Because it's hard to... yeah, you can see where the deep water is that a mech can't traverse through. And of course this is shallow water here. So, it's hard to say. Maybe it can walk through there. It's mostly obscured by the fog of war, mind you. So we'll see. I think I might reserve next, though. And that was the Spider Jump Jet.
They've got a sensor lock on me.
Sensor lock on witness, so that's
Waiting for
fine.
orders.
That's kind of okay for now. Let me get out of sensor range. With that said,
Moving fast.
I want to reserve at some point, with that said, but probably not going to be easily done. Not going to be easily done unless I catch him trying to act. I'm trying to think what my plan really is, in all honesty. Because let's see, Arclight went, the one other mech went, I think. And then now it's like the third mech, which might be a Panther, with that said. And I am technically out of vision. I just don't know if that was a reserve or not, so I'm going to attempt it anyway, because Showboat is good. And I kind of want to see if that if I can force that Trebuchet to move before me. Because if all the light mechs went, then I will be able to force the Trebuchet to go first. And then I sensor lock it and then hit it with some more missiles at least, ideally on that arm. We'll see. Okay, Trebuchet's on the move. Gotta be careful, I'm not quite able to get the... I can sensor lock it though, without a doubt. Again, what leg is this? Right leg. So... is there a way I can just... I can get the left leg though. Okay, so I turn around like this, with that said.
Got it.
I can hit the Trebuchet with more missiles. I can also hit the Commando with more missiles. This is a big question. Commando? Do I even know what the Commando is? I think this one's the Commando, with that said. Oh no, that was the Spider, so that's a shame. The other one was the Commando. I was hoping to shoot the Commando because it took a lot of damage all around, so I'm almost guaranteed to get some kind of like structure damage. And since I'm sensor locked, I could probably just fire more missiles at range. Ideally, I want to be in the woods to kind of protect myself, mitigate some damage, since I'm not going to get autocan shots anytime soon. Oh, that was a mistake. Apparently I can't shoot it, so I did that wrong. That's a shame. I was hoping to soften up some more, even though ideally I didn't miss out that much of an opportunity, because it was the Spider after all. If it was the Commando, then I would feel really bad about that. That's fine either way. Gonna reserve, I'll reserve as well, just to make sure we can force our opponent to start moving, at least at the final phase. I'm fine with this. It does make for a really weird match for both of us to reserve till turn 1. I don't know if I like it in all seriousness or not. I already know I'm going to be forced to go, but maybe I could do that differently.
Awaiting orders.
Let's see.
Good to go.
We know the where the Trebuchet is. So let's force the Trebuchet to go first, so that way Ozone can get some more shots off on it quickly. Since the one thing we can abuse here is that there's a lot of setup for the Trebuchet getting its shots.
Got a lock.
Although it is turned around completely, so it's not as exciting as it sounds just yet. But that side torso still took a beating, and it is tempting, because it would destroy an LRM and laser, the other laser that's not crippled yet. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, Spider without a doubt is going to try sensor lock. That goes without saying, and maybe I could get into the woods to kind of like soak a bit of the damage. It won't be a brace, mind you, but I think I can't get in the woods. I can't get in the goddamn woods like I want it. That is a bit of a pain. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, that was like an alarm shot. I was concerned. I was weirded out by that. Alright. We'll just keep our arc facing this way.
I'm there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get my brace, but that's kind of okay at the same time. Kind of okay. Let's keep doing some more damage to this thing. At least prime it for when it does run out of LRM ammo. Because it is taking notable damage. Let's see. Showboat is protected otherwise. And Paradise can jump. Can Paradise? No, not quite. Because that is again Arclight. Let's not kid ourselves. So she's going to always act before me. It can be... Apparently I can't abuse Arclight's trait there of always being able to go first if I'm trying to target something else.
Sensor lock on me.
And hopefully the Panther's not able to get a shot on me there. Now, big question. There's not really much I could do with 3 mechs there, so I think we try... I actually kind of want to stay out of vision with that said. It's just not possible. So, wonder if it's possible to get in the rear. That sounds like a horrible idea. I have 10 seconds, so let's make sure we're out of vision. I don't care about where Paradise goes, so long as you're out of vision for now to make them worry. I would love to get behind them, because that would make it for an amazing rear shot. Kamikaze play, but not when there's 3 mechs to kind of pounce them. Because I'm almost certain the Panther or mechs are going to spot me when I get even close enough to jump jet range. So it's probably not as clever as I think it will be. Although, I should have shot with ozone. I missed out an opportunity to shoot. Oh no, I did shoot with ozone, never mind. It just wasn't very effective. So, here comes more missiles, so again, I lost track of the missile count, so that kind of stinks there. And only the arm got destroyed is probably the best news, because that means the damage can get spread out more. Whereas if the torso was destroyed, then the arm would go with it.
Commander?
So, not much point here, aside from maybe forcing the commando to go. Since that's also crippled. So let me sensor lock the... Well, this sensor locking command is pointless because it never moved, did it? I was thinking maybe it's something I could do. It's probably not as interesting as it sounds because it did not actually move.
I've got a sensor lock.
Okay, it did move some. So, maybe that is actually useful because it has no evasion stacks for if I do set up some kind of attack on it. And that large laser commando hasn't really been doing much. Hardly been using his large laser. So, and let's see, Mockingbird, I have no idea what your traits are, aside for the fact that you do have sensor lock. So, I don't know what your other traits are. And yeah, it's a bit of a waste of a sensor lock I used there, but it does get rid of the evasion stack. And did the trebuchet just move? Was that it? Oh no, it shot its missiles. Who am I kidding? Destroyed the arm. So far damage is managed pretty well. I think I may be forced to turn my front to him. Okay, reserve, that's fine.
Awaiting orders.
I can melee it. It sounds horrible, but do I get 4 evasion stacks? So, this sounds like a horrible idea, but I'm willing to attempt it. Because it does again ignore the evasion stacks. I get my full evasion. It's a little bit of damage, not much. Doesn't sound as impressive. It seems like a foolish mistake. Because a DFA play is definitely possible here. And let's see. Is that, which torso is that? Okay, it's the arm destroyed, but it still has armor, so that may not be as bad as it sounds just yet. I'm easily in optimum range of the trebuchet though. And I gotta keep in mind I don't have sensor lock
They've got a
either.
lock on me.
Reporting.
So, I'm just wondering how I play this with
Throttle
Paradise.
down. Moving out.
We did get some nice good shots on the Commando, which is why I want to look for another opportunity to hit it, but I don't want to put Paradise in a bad spot where I can't support him either. This is much more safer for him than being way back here. At least right now. I just need to get Ozone up on this damn ridge so that way I can abuse this height advantage I have. Or at least abuse the positioning a little bit better. But either way,
Commander?
I don't know what mech that was. I'm just going to reserve, I think. Because you already made your intentions known trying to sensor lock Witness, so Showboat doesn't need to do anything yet. And if I do this right, maybe I could sensor lock the trebuchet again. So that would be the Commando there.
I've been sensor locked.
So this is going to be pretty scary.
Waiting for orders.
With that all said. But, let's see, no shots or anything like that. I just gotta be mindful of direct line of sight, too. And let's see. Left torso, so you're gonna turn to the right in that case.
On my way.
I really would like to start hitting that Commando, too. Because we already got 2 critical hits on the lasers. And let's see, Trebuchet has not acted yet, and I made a mistake not reserving, so I think we're going to force ourselves on the Commando with that said. To try and hit with some more LRMs, and I really, well, we already know what they're going to go after. Just Ozone is vulnerable to an attack next turn, if I play this out wrong.
Ah, dang it, that hurt.
Okay,
Armor breach. Internal damage.
torso's gone. So center torso's almost gone, so I'm forced to turn myself around. And I want to make use of these trees as much as possible, since it's really damn important. I am not... Precision Strike is tempting, but I don't have a good way to follow it up, unless Paradise could get a good shot. Structure is exposed. So we are making progress on the Commando, I just need Paradise to be able to shoot it some more effectively. So Arclight, what are you going to do? Because I think Witness without a doubt needs to bail. But I can reserve easily enough. At least
Right, Commander.
start forcing moves, I suppose. Because I already, yeah, Showboat already got 4 evasion stacks, so it does. I can move with her last, and the sensor locks aren't going to mean much. That trebuchet must be getting low on ammo, though. With that said,
Standing by.
it's still a question: should I be moving with mech first and then reserving? If that even will
Commander?
work in my advantage. A lot of uncertainties I'm not sure about. But I am going to bail with Witness for now. They're doing damn good at spraying out the damage, I gotta say, for the trebuchet. I just don't know if it's a winning strategy, with that said. I just don't know if it's gonna eventually give me the victory, because that Panther's still a scare, it's still untouched, and it can ignore my brace, but if I could start denying sensor locks, that may be alleviated. The Panther probably needs to die last regardless, just because of how difficult it will be to hit anyway. Paradise has very little options as far as getting aggressive though, and he's going to play an important part for later on in this battle too, because there is a minimum range to the PPC. Okay, there goes the Commando now, so I can sensor lock it. It's going full evasion. Alright, so You got a hit there, bugger. That did breach the
Can't have many
armor.
more hits like that.
I don't know what the chance to hit was, mind you, because I was probably in optimum range. But
Waiting for orders.
I think
Yes,
I've
Commander.
let Paradise go now. To kind of start forcing some actions. I would love to pounce that commando. It is a possibility. It's a damn good possibility there, if I do this right. And with Arc Light, I can punish that trait really well. There is good punishment option here for me, if I do this right. Because you only have one Sense Lock, so it's probably not a good idea to use on Paradise, if you even know that's the Jenner. But missiles could still be a pain. I am pretty crippled all around, especially on the legs. Holy crap. I don't know what it is with Paradise in his legs, but he is taking a lot of damage there. I just gotta be cautious that this will hurt a lot. This will hurt a lot. And I gotta be mindful of the pants or wherever that's hiding. Because if I go up here into the woods, then I'm in prime vision of said panther. So I kind of want to be obscured a little bit with this ridge. I kind of want to. It gives me a high advantage.
They've got a lock on me.
Okay.
Good to go.
Now, let's see. That's the right torso. So this would be your left side. You have trees. So you're pretty damn good.
Moving to position.
And I could precision strike next turn to force that thing on initiative 3, but I don't think that helps me, but it would help ensure a kill. Almost. Hard to really say. I just noticed things cripple as hell. And I think it's time. If Ozone can get a direct line of sight shot on that thing, he is definitely taking it. So, what happens here? What happens here? Because Commando moved. Okay, missed. So thankfully that paid off. And we know where the Panther is. Which is scary, mind you. Really damn scary. I don't know if I want Paradise to go up there or not now. I don't have direct line of sight, which is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate, but Paradise could still take the PPC hit. I just know it's Apex, mind you, so it ignores that armor-piercing potential. So I'm going to try and minimize the chance of my center torso getting hit, since that PPC had conveniently hit it. So we're going to try some more shots.
Here we go.
Try and cripple this thing. It's not going to do much until we actually kill it. Ooh, nice hits on the arm. Now, this is what scares me. Paradise's move. This terrifies me if I... I think it's still worth the chance because this is a sitting duck. And a mech that can die very easily. Because we're using Arclight's trait against them. Against the squad right now. Especially since you just moved with them. So, Paradise needs at least max evasion. This is going to hurt like hell, so that's the left torso, so right side is good. This is very goddamn scary. I don't really want to do it, I'm not gonna lie. No guts, no galaxy, I guess is the term.
Firing jump jet.
And I know I'll have at least 3 evasion stacks. So let's try and go for the kill. Murder this thing immediately.
On target.
We got the kill. That's a big deal for sensor lock denial. And actually, I get to keep my 5 evasion stacks because it was Arclight that moved, and she had the sensor lock. Oh my god. We are rolling a dice, mind you. It's like, what, a 35% chance maybe for that PPC to hit? So that...
They've got a lock on me.
So that was a jump jet there, so... I know Arclight moved, right? I'm confused, because the Panther shot from up there, right? So...
Good to go.
And I know the Trebuchet can't move on initiative 5. So I'm confused what happened there a little bit. But we should have gotten rid of at least one sensor lock, so... I was excited first, maybe. Oh, it was probably because it was the... No, I know. Arclight goes first because we've seen that already. I know that.
Got a lock.
Okay, it was the Trebuchet that moved over there. For some reason I thought it was something else. Either way, we got a nice shot up on this. I would love to hit this torso some more. So if I reserve, you're forced to reserve next. And Showboat doesn't need to do anything. I gotta hope that it's a big ask because both legs can get destroyed, even though technically I don't know what arc that's on. It can destroy a leg, it probably won't destroy both legs though, but at the same time, Paradise is going to go on the same initiative phase as the Trebuchet. So there's the leg. We kind of... That was inevitable.
Hold it. I'm going over.
It should have been almost impossible for
Damn it. I'm wounded.
the other leg to die though. And thankfully, Paradise does not have sensor lock options, so... And we can also hit this thing. Oh, and you also have means to shoot and brace, so Wildfire is your name. Spider took no damage yet, but I would like to shoot you. You gotta keep in mind what torso is this. Right torso, so this is scary potential. I want to make sure I'm safe on that side. Try and minimize damage to the center torso, although I may have still done a big mistake. There's our Panther anyway. Get some shots here. I want to hit that torso ideally. Although it looks like we hit the arm, sadly. So Paradise is still technically alive, but a cold shot's about to be hit on him there. And if it hits the leg, he's pretty much dead. Let's see, what does it hit? Oh, I am lucky. I don't know what the chance to hit was, mind you, but I may have got to... Ah. Well... Again, it's hard to say what went right for me and what went wrong. But I feel like that cold shot on the Commando was still a damn good gambit. Oh my. Anticlimactic ending, but I'm kind of thankful for the match to be short and actually could have turned out to be. Thank you for watching, everyone.